All right, beginning here today on the news out of Fox. It seems they can't take the hemorrhaging anymore. You see, the ratings, ever since Tucker Carlson left, they've just been plummeting, and every day seems to get worse. I mean, the number I saw recently was some 1.3 million that they were getting. Don't forget, I mean, Tucker was averaging something like 3.25 million. Bill O'Reilly before that was some 4+ million. So, they're getting a little nervous. Management, their jobs are on the line because with Tucker gone and viewers pretty angry and looking for new places to go, they got to find a way to solve this thing. So here is their answer, ladies and gentlemen. This is what Fox News thinks is going to, in fact, somehow fix it all. And I'll be very curious to hear whether or not you think that this is going to work. I was looking to see if we could have a drum roll, please. Maybe that's not going to do it. Anyway, it is going to be none other than Greg Gutfeld, Jesse Waters, and Sean Hannity. Not in that order. Not in that order. In fact, the 8 p.m., if you believe Drudge, and I suspect this was planted over there at Judge, so I suspect there's something to this, it would be Hannity at 8 p.m., Jesse Waters at 9 p.m., and Greg Gutfeld at 10 p.m. So, Fox is touting this allegedly to the Drudge Report as their most aggressive lineup yet. I am not sure. I'm just going to tell you this. Like, look, granted, they have a built-in audience, et cetera, and they like to think that they're bigger than any single particular talent. But I think that the Fox viewers, they're pretty burned. I'm hearing already, someone writing, wow, this is going to be awful. The one conservative writing, the idea of enduring Hannity and then having to deal with Waters right after before bed is unbearable. Somebody else writing in, Laura's the only one I watch. Somebody saying Fox is officially dead to me. If the last thing you hear is, I'm Waters and this is my world before you hit your pillow every night, that could present psychological wellness issues. I'm totally upending my evenings, says someone else. Trish's podcast, followed by Glenn Greenwald and then some old Mark Stein clips. Look, I like Handy a lot, and he's a great guy. I'm going to say that. I like Jesse as well. But I think one of the things that Tucker brought to his 8 p.m. for a lot of people was the willingness to kind of dive into some meaty issues, often some very, intellectual issues that were not just political, but even more cultural. I mean, he was the one guy to sort of get into ESG. Actually, Laura does that too. And I'm seeing comments about Laura as well, because people are very, very concerned. Well, wait, what's going on with Laura? Is she too smart for Fox? Was Tucker too smart for Fox? In other words, again, nothing against Handy. He really is a lovely, lovely person, and I adore him, and I like his program. But there is something unique about some of the topics that, say, a Tucker Carlson was willing to tackle, a Laura Ingraham was willing to tackle, frankly, that I was willing to tackle, because I think they had sort of the ability to peel back some of those layers. In other words, we don't want to just look at the world through a political prism. We want to be able to look at policy from kind of a neutral position, except for the fact that you do want the United States of America to always be coming out ahead, right? You want what is best for the U.S. And so I think that one of the gifts that Tucker had, and look, I was on opposite Tucker for a number of years there at the Fox Business Network. But one of the things that he just did really well was he would tackle some pretty sensitive issues, or he'd tackle something that maybe you might not know about. And he'd do so in a way that would really cause you to stop and think. I didn't love everything he did, full disclosure. I mean, there were some reports that really, I was not a fan of. But I give him credit for his just pure, raw ability to bring these themes and these stories home to everyday Americans. And so he's out. They tossed him pretty unceremoniously. I think there's different reasons for that, which we can get into. But now they're going to replace him with Sean Hannity at 8 o'clock, Jesse Waters at 9 p.m., Greg Gutfeld at 10. Don't forget, when O'Reilly left, they had a heck of a time, didn't they? Trying to figure that all out. And then, they kind of did different things for a while. It took a long time. Then they finally put Tucker in. They also had some weird things, like they put the 5 on at 9 o'clock. And I know a lot of people love the 5, but it's very interesting because you have to have the programming intelligence to really understand what's going to work at a particular hour. So what might work at 5 o'clock doesn't really work at 9 o'clock. That sort of banter and the good time that they're having around the desk at 5 doesn't really work in a 9 p.m. time slot. So they went through some hiccups. We'll see how aggressive they are about sticking to this campaign. I think that, all of these guys have a huge following. So Fox has that going for it, but it's a question of, will it really, really work?